privilege of introducing our guest speaker, Sri V.S. Murthy Garu. Sir, who has a work experience of over 3 decades in electrical operation and maintenance of paper, coal, and steel industries, is presently a member of Sri Consultants in Hyderabad and is periodically organizing in-house trainings on energy conservation, RTI, and electrical safety at central and state PSUs like APEPDCL, APSPDCL, India Rail Earth Limited, and BDL. Sir has also organized a webinar on renewable energy sources recently. We are very glad to have you with us today, sir. Hereon, I request you to please take over the session.
Industrial safety. It is because of during the lockdown period, she is telling that a lot of some accidents took place in Visakhapatnam and other places. Correct. What she said is correct. I can say this is called as teething problem. Teething problem is children when they start growing up. Teething problem will be there. Similarly, after lockdown, during lockdown, everything is shut. After lockdown, once you start operating the machines, this type of teething problem come. That's how some accidents took place in Visakhapatnam and other places. Now, let us see. I think most of the people are here students. As Satish Kumar ji said, is actually, we can say, it's a classroom session. In this correction, let us remember Dr. Abdul Kalam's quote related to classroom sessions. Black color is sentimentally bad, but every blackboard makes the students' life bright. You see, very excellent quote given by Dr. Abdul Kalam ji. Next one is the best brains of the nation may be found on the last benches of the classroom. In our college days, we used to sit in the front benches. That time, we were not knowing that back bench will give this much, okay, what do you call it, to make us great people. We know that we would have sat in the back benches only. Okay, anyhow, this is also excellent quote. So, what is industrial safety? Industrial safety is mainly the responsibility of the management. Management has to see to reduce, control, or eliminate the hazards in the industry or any industrial units. Objectives of industrial safety: to prevent accidents in the plant by reducing the hazard to minimum, to eliminate accident caused work stoppage and production loss, to achieve lower workmen's compensation, insurance rates, and reduce all other direct and indirect costs and accidents. So you see, suppose when accident takes place in an industry, what type of expenses will be incurred to the management? They have to provide workmen's compensation, insurance, and suppose if anybody dies, they have to provide the employment to their family members. All these is a great losses to the management. To minimize these, these losses, management, what they have to see? They have to see to prevent the accidents by reducing the hazard to minimum, or eliminate the accidents. Not only this, compensation and all, they are having production loss is there, property loss also is there. These are very great losses. To avoid all these things, they have to reduce the accidents or prevent the accidents. How the accidents are being taken place? Because of this what we call the workmen are not having the this one what they call safety conscious. They don't have the safety conscious. So chalta hai chale do. Actually, this language is okay. Mixed language are easy. Hindi, English, Telugu, okay. So educate all members. You have to educate them. Everybody will see for the shortcuts. If you ask them to use the helmet, they will not use. Exactly at the work spot only they will put the helmet, afterwards they will remove. In our college days, we are having a workshop class is there. For attending the workshop class, we have to go in insert. We have to go in the insert and all. We used to avoid. Just to put the front side only inside and go inside the classroom and do the work and coming out. While coming out itself, we will do all those things. These are all shortcuts. When we are doing the students' time like that, the workmen also will do like that. Workmen also will do. I mean, they are not having the that compensate what you call this safety conscious. So we have to create safety conscious in them. We have to find them. What is the hazard? Hazard is nothing but a situation, which is a level of threat to life, health, property, or environment. If we take industrial hazard produced by the industries that may cause injury or death to the personnel or loss of product and property. What is safety? You have to make free them. You have to free from all these occurrences. That is called safety. Industrial safety refers to the protection of workers from the danger of industrial accidents. So these are the fundamental things. Just I'm giving you. I think most of you are students. Has anybody visited any what do you call any industry so far? Can you answer? Hello, you are able to hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anybody has visited any industry?
Yes, sir.
In our college days, we were having that what you call industry visit was there in third year. Mr. Manamor, you might be remembering. We got to Delhi and all for industry visit. So industrial visit was very important. I think nowadays it is not there. Industrial visit was there. Of course, in fourth year, I gone for industrial training at the APSCB Hyderabad. 6 months training. I had 6 months training. If you see the industry, these are all the common equipment. Irrespective of what you call production, type of production or process. These are the equipment, these are the hardware must be essential for any type of production. Motors, transformers, diesel generating engines, pumps, compressors, boilers, furnaces, refrigeration. These are the hardware for the required for the production. I think most of you people are electrical engineers. Just only brushing up the fundamentals I brought here. This one, Ohm's law, voltage, current, and resistance. For these things, integration is what I have. Ohm's law. So this is the basic law in electrical engineering. Based on this only, complete electrical engineering has been developed. Only 3 parameters are there: voltage, current, and resistance. In case of motors, synchronous speed RPM is equal to 120 f/p. These are also fundamental particular definition. Slip. NS minus NA by NS. Place synchronous speed minus actual speed by synchronous speed. Slip. So these two are important what you call formula for the in case of induction motors. Similarly, in case of water transformers, input power is equal to output power. That is very fundamental principle. V primary by V secondary is equal to I current, I primary, current I, current S by current secondary. The second primary is equal to number of turns primary, number of turns by S. This was secondary. These are the fundamental laws I got here. Next one is so up till now what they have done is it is useful for the electrical engineers who are present here. Fundamental laws I brought here. Next one is the types of hazards in any industry. Fire hazards, mechanical hazards, electrical hazards, chemical hazards, pharmaceutical hazards, radiation hazards, and dust explosion. These are all the hazards, types of hazards in any industry. So one by one we will describe properly. Let us take fire hazards first. Fire hazards causes of fire and explosion hazards. This is due to improper storage, mostly, number one. Improper storage of flammable oils, greases, and fluids, combustible wastes. The storage should be proper. So, how to store these material? It is defined in the codes clearly. So, because of this improper storage, some places like that, of course, it is coming in the case study. Accident took place. Next one is smoking by employees. That is also very important. People will smoke there and throw the butts. Suppose your housekeeping is not good, very poor housekeeping. There, what happened? It will catch fire. You throw the papers and all here and there. If the butts are thrown like that only, so it will catch fire. So these three are interrelated. Improper storage, smoking by employees, and a poor housekeeping. These are very important. If you take care of these three parameters, you can control the fire accidents up to some extent. Number one. Number two is defective heating equipment, electrical equipment, and wiring. These are also very important. Wiring is not proper, any short circuit is there, you don't lead to fire accident. Again, short circuit is there, not only that, so it is not the only source. Fire accident is there, taking place, electric short circuit is there, spark will be there, because of poor housekeeping, it will catch fire in the surroundings. So poor housekeeping is taking a vital role here. Electrical equipment short circuit is there. That is because of poor housekeeping, it is giving these fire explosions. Similarly, improper storage, leakages are there. Again, poor housekeeping, it will help to give the fire accident. Third one is explosive gas leakage. Here also like that. Ignition of gases and sparking of electrical wires of the equipment. So for everything, main source is housekeeping. If the housekeeping is proper, suppose if any spark is there, that will subside there itself. If the housekeeping is not proper, the spark is there, it is spread to the because of housekeeping, poor housekeeping, and explosions will take place. That's why poor housekeeping practices lead to messy, disorganized workplace areas and also increase the number of workplace hazards. As I told you, this is a very important vital role in the creating fire hazards. So how to detect the fire hazards? The detectors are there, thermal detectors, heat sensitive insulation, and photoelectric files, ionization, radiation sensors, and UV and IR sensor detectors. These are all there. These to be installed in your plant. So these are all the detectors. So these detectors will be connected to this fire alarm system is there. This circuit will be connected to this one. Suppose if any fire is there in any one door, immediately it will give the alarm. So here you can identify the zone where the fire taking place. Immediately you can go there and take the precautions there. What you call take the necessary action there. So protection and prevention, how to do it? Most important thing I told you, smoking. Prohibition of smoking in the working areas, manufacturing areas. Next is oxygen present in the flammable atmosphere may be reduced. You have to reduce the oxygen there. With the gases as nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and steam or combination of all these things. Operating outside range of flammability, eliminating the ignition sources. Flames such as burner flames and lighters, heaters, hot surfaces, these things are to be avoided. So these things will prevent the fire accidents. Penetration of combustible gas indicators. Adequate ventilation facility. That is important. Ventilation is not proper, then it will spread like anything. Fire will spread like anything. Fire alarms, firefighting equipment should be there and provide automatic sprinklers, proper storage of combustible material. So these are all very important things for prevention of the fire accidents. This I have completed. So these are all the firefighting equipment, sprinklers and firefighting equipment like this, what you call fire extinguishers. In these fire extinguishers, types of fire extinguishers are there. Water fire extinguisher, from spray, ABC powder, carbon dioxide, wet chemical. These are the types of fire extinguishers. Which type is applicable to which type of what you call flames? This fire accidents. That is given clearly here. This is ABC. Wood, paper, and textiles. For these fires, this is called coming under A. A fires for this water, foam, and wet chemical. They are all required. ABC powder, these things will be suitable. Flammable liquids, B class. For this, foam spray, ABC powder, and carbon dioxide. Flammable gases, C, ABC powder. Electrical contact, ABC powder, carbon dioxide. And cooking gas, for this, wet chemical. So these are the suitability of the what you call type of different types of fire extinguishers. Whether things are clear to you, I am just rushing. Hello, hello, hello.
Sir, clear, sir.
Clear. Okay, okay. Just respond to me.
Yes, sir, you're clear.
Yeah. I'm rushing. That's why I'm getting doubt. Huh? Okay. If any doubt is there, you can stop me in between. Okay. Right. Apart from this, other type of fire extinguishers are sand bucket, water bucket. These are very important near the panel boards. Electrical panel boards, you should provide these things. Say you have to, on the bucket, you can write there fire. Here water. And above that, fire. So color code also different here. This is red, this is orange. So water bucket is orange, sand bucket is red. So electrical control boards are here. Here you should provide these buckets like this and fire extinguisher like this. It's very important. Yeah. Fire tenders. Depending upon the what you call this one fire load, I can say fire accident load. Means in chemical plants, fire load will be more. Fire accidents will be more. There, they should maintain fire tenders, fire stations separately. The other places they can do from the municipal corporation. Municipal corporation, they will provide all these things. Suppose if we give a link to them, they will come with these fire extinguishers, this type of fire tenders, and they will do the all needful. The carbon dioxide fire tender and dry chemical fire tenders. So this is about fire hazards. Anything clear in this? Any doubts are there? Fire extinguishers and fire tenders, how the fire takes place, and what are which are the criminals in the in creating fires, fire accidents. All those things are explained here. Anything is doubt is there, you can ask me in the later, or now also you can ask me. Or shall I go to next topic?
Sir, quantity of liquid in this fire retardant, sir. What is the liters? How much liters?
That is actually the fire extinguishers. It will be 7 liters, I think. 7 liters. That fire extinguishers and these two we have to maintain very properly. Once in 6 months, you have to send for maintenance, and they have to operate it and fill up this liquid and operate, and free operation should be there. When the need arises, it will stop working. That is also there everywhere. That difficulty we are finding. The fire extinguisher in a fire tenders also, they come with that what you call that alarm with that equipment. After coming there, the water will not come out. They'll see for the water. They'll search for the water. What they use? So you have to maintain very properly.
Yes, sir.
All these fire extinguishers and fire tenders you have to maintain. And when the need arises, you have to see that the this one fire extinction will take place properly. Now coming to mechanical hazards. Mechanical hazards are those associated with the power-driven machine, whether automated or manually driven machine driven by hydraulic or electrical power. Mechanic means mostly this is related to, this slide is related to workshops. In workshops, you will find lathe machines, cutting machines, tearing machines, shearing, crushing, breaking, straining, and puncturing machines. These are all the machines here. So when you are working on that machine, any different types of product or accident will take place. So for this slide related to that workshop safety. So prevention of mechanical hazards. It can be reduced by the application of appropriate safeguards. Safeguarding is to minimize the risk of accidents of machine operator contact. So when you are working with the machine, you should go with the tight clothes. Tight clothing must be there. Otherwise, what happens? When the rotating machine is there, your shirt will go inside and it will lead to accident. That's why, as I told you in the beginning, in the workshops, they used to insist to come in the insert only. Similarly, type of guards, safeguarding is there, and the point of operation guards and the feeding ejection method. So here, interlocks are there. Fixed guards, interlocked guards, and adjustable guards. Fixed guards are a permanent barrier between the works and the point of operation. Present point of operation. So if you see here it is a fully driven. This is a driver. This is a driven equipment. This is coupled with the belt, coupling belt. Okay. Here you should provide this guard should be there. If a fitter takes this equipment for maintenance, after doing the maintenance, you will provide this what you call belt, and without guard you will start running. So normally these people, what they do, after doing the maintenance, they have to check the alignment properly. If the alignment is not proper, first it will damage the bearing of the motor or the driven equipment. It will damage that one. Second incident will take place, belt shearing. Belt will get sheared and it will come out with a great force. When you are standing here, that will hit you and you will die. So with a great force it will come out. That is why the guard is fixed here. It is that can be avoided. You can compromise with the only bearing damage. Bearing will replace it and repair it. This is guard is very important. It will save the human life. Similarly, here, this is the direct coupling. So driver is here, driven is here. Direct coupling means for some of the couplings, coupling bolts will be there. Above that coupling, pad will be there, rubber pads will be there. You might have seen. In your residential also, these pumps are there for pumping the water to your terrace. So that, of course, that is a small pump. It's a fractional HP pump. Okay. There also you will provide this type of guards are there. Similarly, after maintenance, if the what you call alignment is not done properly, this pad, as I told you, pad will be there, coupling pad. That pad will get shared and it will hit you, make you die. It has happened in our country, in our railway factory, paper mill. I worked in the Rajahmundry paper mill. It has happened. The fitter, he has done the maintenance here and he has not seen the alignment properly. And without guard, he has started this one. That coupling this one, what you call rubber pad, was shared and it has hit his chest, completely spot dead. It's very dangerous to run this one equipment without using the guard. Similarly, fans are there, axial flow fans are there. Here, you see how the guard is provided here. Without guard, if you do like this, your what you call your clothing will be taken inside and it will lead to accident. Similarly, if it is a small this thing fan, a residential fan, kids will be there. Kids, what they will do? They will put the fingers here. It will give a problem. That's it. So interlocked guards. Interlocked guards, they shut down the machine when the guard is not securely in place. Suppose if it is not fitted properly, the machine will not start. You have to fit it properly, interlocking will be there. So that interlocking switches will be there, that switches should be closed properly. Otherwise, it will not get started. The advantage allows safe access for remove the jams and for the maintenance also. If any jamming is there for removing that one, it will safely you can remove that one. Means you have to loosen the what you call the guard. That will not machine will not get started. You can remove all these things and do the work. Adjustable guards, they provide the barrier against the variety of different hazards. So apart from this adjustable guards, we come to conveyors. Conveyor belts you are seeing. Conveyor belts, some places in paper mills and all. This what you call wood chipping machine, that section will be there around 1 mile distance, and digesters will be there apart from that. Okay, from that 1 mile distance should be covered by this what you call that will be transported. The chips will be transported via this what we call using this conveyor belts. Similarly, in coal mines also, coal will be taken out by using the conveyor belts. These conveyor belts are very lengthy conveyor belts are there some places. Okay. So for starting and stopping the conveyor belt, the control room will be there, their operation will take place. Here, conveyor belts, suppose in between the conveyor belt, any accident takes place or any what you call any maintenance is to be done, there they provide for every distance of 2 meters or like that, they provide pull cards switches. What he has to do, this operator he has to switch on the pull card switch, and you do the necessary maintenance or what necessary repairs. During that time, nobody can start from the control room. Do not get started. How? This pull card is switched off. This is giving the safety to the what you call this worker who is working here on the belt. So interlocking safety to the conveyor belts is like this. So interlocking safety, I just told you here, conveyor belt is here. Interlocking here, what you call if it is not closed properly, sometimes it will give the alarm also. It is not closed properly. Automatic visible alarm will be there if not get started. Why this one? If you see the cars, the door is not closed properly, you will get the alarm. Light will be there. You are not put the what you call belt, you will get the alarm. So this is interlocking will be there like that. This interlocking switches for the what you call guards, what you call they are safe for the operators. Safety measures for mechanical hazards. All machinery must be fenced or mechanical interlocking or photo cell. So this is the machine here. This is the machine you see here. Fencing is provided here. For this fencing, to provide interlocking also there. Here also, this machine is provided with interlock. This fencing is there. For this fencing, interlocking will be there. Building planning. Floors must be non-slippery. Slippery is there, means then slip out and accident will take place. Enough space to move properly, easily move. Easy access of workers to safety switches. Safety switch is there. Before that, we'll stack so many unwanted material. Then how to approach there? You cannot approach there. So easy access should be provided there for approaching the safety switches. Should not stack any unwanted material before that. Safety material handling, all material handling equipment should be repaired and maintained properly. Madam said recently during lockdown, some accident took place in Visakhapatnam. One of that accidents is in Rajan shipyard, train accident. Of course, it is coming in the yesterday. There, because of lack of maintenance, that accident took place. Personal protective equipment here. Helmets, hand gloves, goggles, and here this is actually earphone. Earphone weight is required. Earphone or flex weight is required. Suppose if any cutting machines are there, lot of sound will be there. There you have to use that earphones, otherwise you will get a hearing problem. Face masks should be there. All these things are called as protective equipment. So this ends the mechanical hazards. So far we have completed fire hazards and mechanical hazards. Shall we go to next one?
No, you can go, Mr. Murthy. Can I get a chance at the end of your lecture, just 1 or 2 minutes, so that I want to put forth my thinking to all of you at the end of your lecture. Before
Which
you,
one?
before you,
Which one?
no. Before you end your lecture,
Yeah.
I'll be grateful to the organizers if I am given a chance to talk 1 or 2 minutes only. That's all.
Okay.
I
No
don't want
problem.
to disturb you in between.
Yeah. It's a good
Very
idea.
interesting.
It's a good
Very
idea.
interesting.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good idea.
Thank you. Thank
We'll
you.
do it like that.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sure.
Very kind of
Okay,
you.
okay, sir. Satish, I think there is no problem for that.
Yes, sir. No problem, sir. No problem.
Okay.
Fine.
So,
Please continue, sir.
shall we go to this one, electrical hazards?
Yes, sir.
So, electrical hazards is very familiar and very famous hazards in our day-to-day life. Even sitting at home also, you are getting these electrical hazards. You did not go to a spot. Nowadays, people are doing work from home. They also will get electrical hazards. So, people who are doing work from home, they should be familiar with this electrical hazards. Okay. Why they will not be paid any insurance or any compensation by the management. You are doing work from home, so there will be no loss to the management. So this is electrical hazards very important for the people who are working from work home and housewives. All these people are very important. Okay. Not only housewives, nowadays, after starting this work from home, these people are also doing work from home. They work at home. It's a great relief to the housewives. Is it not? Yeah. So, major causes of electrical hazards, electrical shock, or contact with the base wire carrying the current. I told you in the beginning, very small thing, Ohm's law. E is equal to IR, high current. So, where electrical wire is copper wire or aluminum wire, whatever it is, low resistance. I by V by R is equal to I. Okay. So if the R is low, current is voltage is fixed. This current will be high. Okay. When you touch the wire, you will get the shock. Working with the electrical equipment that lacks the label for safety inspection. Every cable should be tagged properly. 230 volts, high voltage cable, low voltage cable, medium voltage cable, like that they will be tagging. Electrical equipment that has not been properly grounded. Earthing is very important role in electrical engineering. Earthing is a must for anything. It is a route. It's a bypass surgery. I can say it's a bypass surgery. It's a route for providing the current to go safely to the ground. It will not damage the human being who is touching the wire. Working with electrical equipment on dam floors. That's very important. You should not work on the dam floors. Electrical hazards. A shock is caused by the electrical current passing through the human body. The quantity and the path of this current determines the level of damage. The quantity, how much is flowing. Suppose if you are standing on the flat surface, the quantity will be more. Means why resistance is less. On the wet surface, resistance is less, so quantity will be more. If you are standing on the dry surface, quantity will be less. Okay. Electrical hazards occurs when a person makes the contact with a conductor carrying the current and simultaneously contacts the ground. Just by touching the conductor carrying the current, you will not get the shock. Thing is, you have to touch the ground also simultaneously. Then your path will be completed. your electrical path will be completed. Then only you get shock. Otherwise, you will not get shock. Suppose if any wires are overhead lines are there, or a crow is standing at the one of the wires, you will start getting shock. Why? The path is not complete there. Path should be completed unless it stands on both the wires. As I told you, here, the quantity and the path of this current determines the level of damage. I told you here. Okay. So this is the level of damage. Current is, if it is more than 5 milliamperes, generally painful. If it is less than, greater than more 15 milliamperes, strong involuntary reactions. And greater than 30 milliamperes, breathing difficulty. 50 to 100 milliamperes, heart fibrillation, death likely. 100 to 200 milliamperes, death probably. More than 200 milliamperes, cardiac arrest. So this is the effect of human being, human body, and the depending on the quantity of current. Now comes to the any industry, they should have first aid training also should be is very important to the workers. First aid training, not only to the workers, to the employees also. Very important first aid training. Why you know? If any accident takes place, they must be given first aid. Then afterwards only they should be taken to the doctor. First you have to provide first aid to the casualty, so that the people should be trained properly. That is very important in every organization. There is a must. It comes if you come across the person receiving the electric shock. If possible, disconnect the electricity supply. Please, that is switch off the supply. Assess the situation. Never put yourself at risk. You should not touch him. If you are touching him, standing on the phone, you will also get shocked. Take precautions to protect yourself and anyone else in the vicinity. This is very important. Yourself also should be protected. Apply the first aid principles. This is the first aid principles you have to apply. Assess the injuries and move the casualty to a safe area if required. Administer first aid and if timed. Training is required. If no training is there, then you cannot give the first aid. Seek urgent medical attention. So these are all the requirements when a person receives the shock. The most frequent causes of electrical injury and death are causes. What are the causes there? Contact with the power lines, path of the ground, missing or discontinuous. Path of the ground is missing or discontinuous. Equipment not used in manner prescribed. Improper use of extension and flexible cords. This is very important. Extension cords are there. People, what they do, they will not use the plug top. They put 3-4 wires inside and they put one this one elastic. That's very dangerous thing. They will not realize. These are all shortcuts they are doing. Electric shock and burns due to proper indication facilities. Wiring faults and improperly wired equipment. Sparking and loose connections. These are all the frequent causes of electrical injury or death. Prevention. How to prevent these things? Proper maintenance of wiring and equipment. You have to maintain properly. All electrical panels, you have to do the regular maintenance. Otherwise, what happens, the surrounding dust will be getting accumulated inside the contacts. Contactors are there. Everybody has seen the little panel board. Inside the contactors will be there. For all of the equipment. the contractors in between contracts and these fixed and moving contracts, it just accumulates. So switching on and switching off. At time, spark will take place and will lead to fire. So that time, what you have to do? That's why what you have to do? You have to do the maintenance regularly. The high voltage equipment should be properly enclosed. Enclosure should be provided. Indication of danger sign at every high voltage terminal. Safe work project. Insulation, guarding, grounding, electrical protective devices. So these are the preventive measures for the electrical hazards, avoiding the electrical hazards. Workers should avoid working with the equipment in wet clothes and shoes. Water supply should be far away from the electrical circuits. So this is nowadays all the what you call industries. Is a must to provide shoes, shockproof shoes nowadays they are giving. Earlier they used to give the safety shoes. For electrical department, they are giving shockproof shoes. That shockproof shoes they have to use. Of course, clothing is should not be wet. Okay, and electrical circuits, near the electrical circuits, there should be no water. You can ask, you are telling me to provide water buckets near the electrical panel water. That is for extinguishing the water, this what we call electrical fire, but not for this one. Okay, safety measures for electrical hazards. Design safer system, implement a safe electrical work program, observe work practice, use protective equipment, use warning labels, recheck the equipment every day, heat producing electrical equipment, and overhead electrical wires should have the extra care, recheck the lines every day, proper training. These are all the safety measures for electrical hazards. So not only this, people should not work with the material, using the material, conductive material, like jewelries, watches and all. When you are doing the maintenance work, you have to remove all these things. Insulation you have to provide, insulation you have to recheck properly, and disconnect the wire system and wiring system, power system and all before doing the work. And use only explosion-proof devices, non-sparking switches in flammable liquid storage areas. All electrical parts should be ISA approved, ISA specified, and ensure all flexible wires, power cables are properly insulated. Installation of earth strip devices for all the electrical equipment. Safeguarding is essential for all the electrical equipment. Here, very important thing is you have to use the ISA approved things only. Nowadays, people will see the cost effective means China product is cost effective. They will use that one. They will take that one. Use and throw. Use and throw is can be done for other cases, but in electrical there should be no compromise. Cannot do like that. You should be use this ISA approved only. Next one is electrical. This one earth strip. Earthing is very important here. You have to provide earthing, earth strips, and earthing wires should be continuously used there. You have to check every day. Almost every day you have to check. Guarding is also very essential for the electrical equipment. So this is about the electrical hazards. Here what you are saying, safety aspects we are saying, and safety measures in electrical hazards we are saying, and the preventive measures, and how the electrical shock and all electrical, what is electrical hazards. So these are the This one topics covered in the electrical hazards. So far, we completed fire hazards, mechanical hazards, and electrical hazards. 3 were completed. Now, shall we go to chemical hazards, chemical industry? Chemical industry is very important. In the beginning, I told you. Yeah. Fire hazards, mechanical hazards, electrical hazards, chemical, pharmaceutical, radiation hazards, and dust explosions. So these are the different types of hazards. So far, we completed fire hazards, mechanical hazards, and electrical hazards. Now we are going to chemical hazards. Means probable what you call chemical hazards take place in a chemical industry. How they take place and how to prevent them, what precautions we will take, all these things we'll see here. These chemicals are toxic and highly flammable. The potential hazards can be introduced through chemical spills, splash, inhalation, etc. Many chemical plants accidents caused by toxic gas leak and poisoning by toxic material. Fire and explosions due to flammable gases. Fire and explosions due to flammable liquid and solid. Explosion caused by the pressurized gases and liquids. Fire and explosions due to uncontrolled reactions. So these are all the causes for the chemical plant accidents. The first one, if we see, toxic gas leak and poisoning the toxic materials. Also, you have witnessed very recently here in Vizag, Visakhapatnam. That is actually it took place at LG Polymers. Sterile gas leaked from the tanks are outdated and lack of sensors are there. No sensors are there. With all these deficiencies, what happened? The sterile gas came out and it has spread everywhere. First, that is coming in the case study. They also, I can say, there is also teething problem. Madam said in the beginning, the lockdown, so many industries are closed, and after lifting the lockdown, they started, and the second day itself, this accident took place. Means that the temperature sensors are down, they are not working properly. Because of that, this problem has come. Fire explosions from due to flammable gases, fire explosions due to flammable liquids and solid. Explosion caused by the pressurized gases and liquids. Fire explosions due to uncontrolled reactions. Uncontrolled reactions means in laboratories, some experiments take place that time. Some reactions, mostly reactions will be there. Some reactions are controllable, some reactions are uncontrollable. That time, accidents will take place. The causes of accidents in chemical plants: human error and complacency, improper training, not properly maintaining the safety equipment. So I told you here, sensors, safety equipment is a sensor, temperature sensor is a safety equipment. Just not maintained properly because it led to accident. And second one is improper training. Training is not there for the people who has worked on the tank. That also is led to this problem. The common injuries that occur at chemical plants include chemical burns, trips and falls, overexertion, cuts and scrapes, chemical exposure, and inhalation of chemicals. These are the common injuries. So here we are seeing the causes of accidents and common injuries. Preventive measures for this chemical hazards. Solvents used in the extraction or purification of synthetic drugs and chemical analysis should be handled with care. Flammable and explosive chemicals should be kept at proper distance. And the tolerance level of our toxic chemicals set by the federation regulation have to be followed properly. Suitable label to the chemicals for proper handling. So labeling is very important here. On the HCl bottle, if you write H2SO4, and on the other bottle you write HCl. On the water bottle you written there some HCl again, and on the HCl bottle you written water. The labeling is not proper. So thinking that this water he has taken HCl, what happens? It will go to accident. All these things are required here. So that means labeling is a certain what do you call critical role. It plays a critical role in this chemical accidents. Solvents used for the extraction in the extraction purification should be handled with care. Solvents we have to take proper care in handling these things. Thermal hazards. Many processes and equipment in chemical plant operate at a high temperature and directly expose hot environment, hot surface, and high temperature radiation. Many process equipments in chemical plants operate at high temperature. Because of that one, it will lead to thermal hazards. Extreme cold temperature hazard cannot be neglected because it is able to present real hazard to the worker. The first one we have seen the thermal hazard, second one is cold hazard. Cold also is important. Both are important in the chemical hazards. Third one is electrical hazard. Electrical hazard means static electricity. What is static electricity? Can anyone tell? Anytime you come across the static
Static is
electricity.
fixed, sir. Static is fixed, sir.
Static electricity, I am asking you. Static electricity, any time, any point of time you came across the static electricity?
Yes, sir. Petrol bunks in petrol tanks we are selling
Exactly. Okay, that is correct. So the base in petrol tanks, while transferring the petrol from the tanker to the sump, that the tanker should be earthed properly, grounded properly. If it is not grounded, that static electricity there is there, the static spark will be there, electric spark will be there, it will lead to fire accident. In simple example, I will tell you, when you are wearing the what you call terracotta shirt, just rub your hand on the shirt, you will feel like slight vibration. That's called static electricity. Okay. The principal factors of accidents of an static nature. The transfer of liquids from tankers, for example, transfer from one tank to another tank. That time is very important. In most of the industries, they get this one acids from the outside. Tankers will come. So these tankers will be emptied to their the tank available in the factory. So that time, this both the truck as well as the their tank should be grounded properly. Otherwise, this static electrical hazard will take place. Preventing the static electricity as an ignition source can be accomplished through bonding and grounding. You have to provide grounding should be important. So next goes to mechanical failure. Mechanical hazard means old equipment with corroded supports will collapse anytime. Since the supports have lost their required strength. This is called mechanical hazard. some plants, what they call storage tanks are there. What they call, they will store the CL, H2SO4 and all. They store in the, earlier they used to store in the MS tanks. Because of this chemical reaction and all, they are switched over to rubberline tanks, rubberline MS tanks. There also they're getting problem. Rubberline MS tanks, what they call maintenance is really difficult. Inside changing the rubber lining, that also is hazardous. Nowadays, people are going for SS tanks. It's a costly. Even then also, they have to go for SS tanks. So these tanks, you have to see that maintenance should be proper. There should be corrosion should be avoided. Otherwise, the tank will collapse anytime. Oxygen deficiency. You have to maintain oxygen deficiency. The workers such hazard, including the toxic atmosphere. Now coming to this one, personal protective cloth. You see here nowadays, because of corona, all these hospital doctors and all, they are using this type of equipment. This is very important. Similarly, in chemical plants also, they are supposed to use all these things. Nowadays, we are witnessing all these things nowadays because of corona. But we are thankful to corona. The application of cream before the commencement of the work. Some cream will be there, you have to apply to the hands and all. Otherwise, hands will get what you call reaction. Use of goggles, you have to use. Safety regulations and protective measures, you have to take care. So this is about the chemical hazards. In the chemical hazards, you have seen what type of chemical hazards are there. Next one is causes of chemical hazards. Next one is common injuries occur due to chemical hazards. Next one is preventive measures you have seen. Protective equipment you have seen. So these are all about the chemical hazards. Now let us go to pharmaceutical hazards. The pharma industry, what type of hazards you will expect? Hazardous drugs that pose a potential death, potential health risk to healthcare workers who may be exposed during the drug manufacturing, packing, and storage. That is very important. That we actually the hazardous drugs are there. Some drugs are there. Those drugs they have to take all these precautions. They have to be careful. Not only in manufacturing, packing and storage, storing also they have to see. They have to be careful. Route of exposure to hazardous drugs, inhalation. Aerosol is a drug. The dermal absorption, ingestion and injection. Acute poisoning and chronic poisoning. These types of hazard toxicity. Safety aspects in the pharmaceutical hazards means the personal protective equipment for hazardous drug handling. Disposable gowns made of fabric that has low permeability to the agents to use in use with closed points and cuffs intended for single use. This means these things should be use and throw. Powder-free gloves. The gloves normally in the hand gloves and all, there is some powder will be there, but these powders should not be there for these pharmaceutical industries. Labeled and tested for drugs used with the chemotherapy, made of latex and latrine neoprene. Face and eye protection when splashing if is possible. Face mask is required, eye protection is required. Approved respirator when there is risk of inhaling drug, accelerators, and the labeling of solvents to indicate their properties and health and fire hazards. is an extremely important method for controlling the hazards. Substitution of more harmful material by one which is less danger to health. So these are all the safety aspects in pharmaceutical hazards. To prevent or reduce the dangerous exposure to toxic material, gas releases should be vented out outside the building and away work areas and other populated areas. Exhausts and ventilations should be provided to remove emissions. Every bulk drug and pharmaceutical unit must prepare its disaster management plan. This is very important. Disaster management plan should be prepared. Safety aspects, standard operating procedures, and handling the hazardous material, water supply, floors and floor coverings, emergency exits, backup plan if anything goes wrong, everything, especially trained by personnel, health policies, and written procedures, safety audits, risk, and all these things are required here. So, pharmaceutical results are over. Now, going to dust hazards. This dust hazards will take place mostly in coal mines and sawmills. There also we will get a dust problem with there. How does the dust hurt you? Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it will lead to this disease. Asthma is there, cancers are there. So these problems will arise due to this dust. Heart disease and chronic this extended allergic rhinitis. So what are these problems are there? This is dust hazards. Pulmonary disease, asthma, cancers, and heart disease and other things. Okay. Safe precautions, safe machinery equipment. Dust process it should be isolated if possible, and exhaust and ventilation is required. Standardized working procedure. Information and training is important. Warning signs must be provided.
Hello, sir. Excuse me, sir. We have still 10 minutes to end the session. So, if possible, please try to complete it as soon as possible, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank
you
you.
have to use the respirators also here. Next one is you go to underground mines. Underground mining, you are having the fire problem, flooding is there, collapsing is there. Electrical safety in mining. Electrical safety means actually what happens there, a special type of equipment is required in coal mines. All these things are motors, parallel boards, and all intrinsically safe or flame-proof motors. So that means if any spark takes place inside the motor, it should not come out. If it comes out, the surrounding atmosphere will get fire and it will lead to fire accident. So maximum voltage, that's why maximum voltage is 3.3 kV and maximum voltage is only 1.5 volts and this one, the other voltage is 3 volts. Paper industry also, lifting the loads and all, those heavy loads falling and these things will lead to accidents. Radiation, of course, radiation also is there. In the radiation, you will get this one. This nuclear testing, all these things are coming to radiation hazards. Okay, the external exposure. External exposure means this is external exposure means this body. External exposure is a local, partial body, and a complete body. This external exposure will take place in the X-rays and CT scanning and all. Internal exposure, the thyroid, lung, liver, bone, all these things will get affected. Since he told me time is less, I'm going fast. Okay. Here you have to see the time. Time, less dose. Distance is more distance, less dose. Shielding you have to use, less shielding is required. So these are the things are required. Okay, safety slogans is not that much important here. So how every industry should have the safety engineer, safety department, and these people will train up the people and train up the these workers and all. Safety audit is required. The safety program means you have to give the training to the workers and maintenance of the working conditions and all these things. Suppose if any maintenance is taking place, they have to issue the work permit. Work permit is required. Unless that work permit is there, they cannot start any work. So this is the responsibility of the safety department. The safety department will train up the people. So occupational safety is the international standards. Occupational safety, OSHAs. These people, they are giving the international safety, this what they call course and all. They are providing. Going to follow all these things. Now we'll go to case studies. Case studies. In this case studies, first one is ammonia gas. Ammonia gas in what do you call ammonia gas leakage is there. Ammonia gas should be properly stored, means uplifted. In the standing position only should be stored. But here, these people, what they have done, in the inclined position, they put the ammonia gas in there. That's why Shanghai, it has happened in the Shanghai. It took place, it has led to the what you call ammonia gas leakage. So it has one worker died in this explosion. They should always be stored in the upright position only. So like this, you have to store ammonia gas. Cages are there. This. So next one is here it took place at Malaysia. Malaysia, what happened? This tanks are there. In tanks, the fire accident took place. One tank is containing gasoline. Gasoline took fire, and resulting to the surrounding tanks also two tanks they got fire. That led to the accident, fire accident. Third one is Bhopal gas tragedy. This is a very important tragedy. It took place in 1984. Bhopal gas. Bhopal, there, what happened? Methyl gas. Yes, it has come out because of mixing with water. It has come out, and around 8,000 people deaths are there. It's a very great incident in 1984. Well, these are the site photographs are there. Now coming to our LG polymers. LG polymers also because of lack of temperature sensors, the gas it came out, saline gas came out, and they spread it everywhere. Here, this steering. Well, next one is This is also again from Visakhapatnam only. Crane accident in HSL, Hindustan Shipyard. This is a crane. Actually, they were doing maintenance work. Maintenance, this is a lack of this maintenance failure is a main problem here. This crane collapsed on August 1st, 2020, and it has led to around 11 people died in this accident again. This is like this. This also video taken here. Level workers were crushed to death here. So next one is this is about Srisalem. Srisalem is from hydro power plant. Accident took place on August 20. Right. Actually, this is also lapses of the management on the maintenance. The batteries are there. Excitation batteries are there. Those batteries are to be periodically replaced. Normally, this type of maintenance work should be taking place during the what you call summer time, in the month of June or July, summer time. But they have not done so that time. They have postponed to this August. August already rain started. The production also they started. That time they realized and they started replacing this one. This replacement also they are done in the night shift. That's also wrong timing. They should do it in the daytime when all the trained people are there. They are not done so. This they are done in the night time. So it has led to the accident. All control panels are all not fine. You see here, complete this one power tank, this one powerhouse completely not fired here. These all control panels and all completely lot of fire is there, and nobody could go enter inside. That is the problem. Everybody is roaming outside only. Nobody dare to go inside. So this is the fire accident took place on August 20, 2020 at Srisalem project. You see here how they are using that fire extinguisher, how they are doing. This fire extinguisher should be done by trained people only. Nobody else can do it. Other people, they untrained people, they cannot do it. You see the fire extinguishers how they are placed. How they are extinguishing the fire. You can see very clearly. Okay. Yeah. So now, on this, I want to tell one thing, most important thing. Not only this, in every industry, safety department will have a vital role to train up the workers as well as the employees. Safety department means safety engineer will be there, safety officer will be there, and worker side also representatives will be there, and management side also representatives will be there. The safety committee will visit the other industries and they see what type of safety precautions they are taking. They will try to implement here also, like that. Those people will come to here, they will interact, they will exchange their views here and there. So like that, everywhere it should be followed, number one. Number two should be, employees should be motivated. In our plant, we used to motivate the people. Every worker, every employee has to give one safety slogan. Like that, I brought here some safety slogans here. Safety slogan daily. So from that, we used to select the good slogans and give them some incentive. So like that, we have to motivate the people. and train up the people in case in terms of safety and all. It's a very important thing. So first thing I told you, here the safety slogans are there. So these slogans you brought from the employees only, employees and workers. They used to give daily one slogan, and best of them we used to select and give them some incentive. So like that, motivate the people and improve the safety. Thank you all. So, so can we close?
So can
Yeah,
I get
tell
a
me.
chance to
Thank you,
talk?
sir. Yes, sir.
Now I would like to ask Sri V.S. Sarmagaru to share a few words. Sir, you can please share your words.
Okay, thank you very much. In fact, before I got this message from the organizers asking me to participate, I thought they are inviting an odd man out. But now I realize I'm very happy that I'm there with the gathering with the gathering. And the talk given by Mr. Murthy is really excellent, extempore, and thought-provoking for the people like me. And I hope you are able to hear me now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm audible and visible, right?
yeah.
Wonderful. So now, Mr. Murthy has very nicely addressed the problems of the uh, problems related to industry. I request Mr. Murthy in future to concentrate the such problems in domestic sector also. For example, multi-story buildings. You see, he has come from Bombay. He knows the problems there. He was also in an apartment of a multi-story complex. If
Yes,
there are
sir.
100 apartments in a multi-story building, for example, even if one person commits any mistake or mischief, all the 99 apartments will suffer. So for that, I request Mr. Murthy to concentrate on such people also and give lectures to others by addressing the guidelines to take care of such things. But this early warning system is very, very important. Early means we cannot predict at all. For example, if there is a one problem in one of the flats of multi-story building, then the remaining 19 have to suffer no other way. And also, if there is any problem of safety measure not taken by in a shopping mall, unnecessary innocent people will die. Why to talk of why to talk of we talk of these things? See, nowadays even hospitals also are not having these safety measures, which is most unfortunate. So I request Mr. Murthy to start a school like that, a school where he can motivate the people like me to take up the safety measures and all such things. This is my request and suggestion to Mr. Murthy and to the organization. Thank you very much for giving me this chance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful word. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, somebody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a varied approach on this webinar. I also would like to thank Murthy, sir, for providing us with ample of knowledge on hazards of various industries, their causes, and safety measures to be taken for prevention, and giving us this insightful webinar session. I now would like to ask our other dignitaries if they are willing to share a few words with us.
Sir, Balmohan Garu, sir, please share your thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Satish.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Murthy. You know, it
Right.
was a very, very interesting and very informative session. I would like to tell something to all the audience, of which most of them are students. So you may think that, you know, you may never have to really see any industry. Most of you may be working in different areas where you don't really go to a factory. But don't think like that. Whatever Murthy has spoken, whether it is a mechanical hazard, electrical hazard, gas hazard, any hazard can happen at your home itself. Okay. And certain things which he mentioned, say, for example, guards. I have seen people not wearing proper guards and helmets, etc., while they are traveling in the bike, and you know, their clothes getting entangled in that and things like that. And in one case, I remember in our hostel, two people were playing chess in a chess tournament, and the room was as bad, without housekeeping. You can understand in a bachelor and students' room. The guys, both of them were deeply involved in the game, and both of them were smoking. After some time, when somebody was passing by that room, they saw a lot of smoke coming out of that. Okay, so these sort of things can happen anywhere. They will not, knock your door and come. So please try to apply this to your own condition, to your own situation, whether you are at home or whether you are in a different type of office. And in this aspect, I certainly recommend, as Dr. Sharma said, that probably Murthy can next time talk about these things applying to the domestic situation itself. Thank you, Murthy. Thank you, Satish, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience and letting us students know that it is very important to be alert at every point of time in life. We are happy to share that our student branch has organized an article writing competition on 3 topics: radical biohacking, use of robots in future, and nanotechnology for next generation, and was a great success. It was really appreciative of all the students who made many resourceful paper submissions. We are very much enlightened to have many dignitaries alongside our speaker joining with us today in this event, and on this occasion, we are delighted to announce the winners of this competition. I request Abhiram to please share the results with us.
Thank you, Bhavani. Sir, I will share my screen now and I will present the winners for the article competition on the 3 topics. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the article writing competition, and these 3 members are the winners. As Satya Prashant from Indian Institute of Petroleum Engineering, and he has written an article writing from nanotechnology for the next generation. He is an IEEE member, and she is E. Lakshmi Chandana from PVP Siddhartha Institute of Technology. She wrote an article on use of robots in the future. She is a non-IEEE member. And Ashashwini Marupalli from Gayatri Vidya Parishad College of Engineering Autonomous, she wrote an article in radical biohacking. So I am very glad to show these are the winners for our article writing competition, which we held 2 weeks before. So I am very glad to present this, sir. And I am also glad to show this is our new IEEE website we designed and we released and we hosted the last week. And here we can see all the updates and whatever we were given, like industry safety webinar organized. So we will share all the updates and we will give the information about our latest technologies and latest events conducted in our IEEE student branch, sir. So I will share the link in the chat box. So please visit our website and please share your opinion. Thank you.
Mr. Murthy, kindly enroll me as one of your students in future.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the audience about from the webinar? That's a questions from the audience for a 5 minutes, period of 5 minutes. Can we go for it? Yes.
I can say, hello, I can say, Mr. Abhiram's, that sensor is working properly. Excellent. He has given me the alarm. 10 minutes are there.
Yes.
With that, I was to rush. So many things I skipped. So Abhiram is maintaining the alarm very properly. He is so safety conscious. Thank you, Mr. Abhiram ji. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Tell me. Yeah.
Really, this is an excellent lecture for me. As far as I am concerned, I have been educated by this lecture in this field. Really fantastic. But once again, I request Mr. Murthy to address the problems of in the domestic front also, because he came from Bombay. He knows that culture, that apartment structure. And he has come to Hyderabad where he is seeing that. And in Bombay also he was in one of the apartments, I remember. He got copper. So such problems let him think of, and kindly I request him to kindly address such things to uh, people also. Because to start with, for example, if there is a gated community, first let him address the problems to gated community. Then let him address the problems to the multi-story building where there are 100 apartments, maybe even more also. That is, if these things are addressed by his Murthy and his students like me, we are very happy. Because time is there, I'm talking, otherwise I don't talk.
Surely I'll do it.
Abhinav,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we can conclude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Pavni, please conclude this webinar.
Okay, now we are coming to the end of this knowledgeable webinar session. I request Divya to quote vote of thanks.
Good afternoon all. On behalf of IEEE SB GVP CEA, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar on industrial safety. At the outset, I thank our speaker and resource person, V.S. Murthy Garu. We are really enlightened with your knowledge, sir. Thank you for drifting out time from your busy schedule and gracing us with your presence. We also thank Dr. V.S. Sharma Garu and Madan Mohan Ram Garu for sharing their thoughts and suggestions. We are thankful to our student branch counselor, Dr. Satish Kumar Garu, for his unflinching support and motivation. Heartfelt thanks to all your participants for attending this webinar and making it a grand success. Also, a special thanks to the organizing committee for their dedication and coordination. We hope all your doubts have been cleared. And with these warm words, we'd like to end this session. Thank you.